Good morning or afternoon, and welcome to this webinar. This is the Three Word Rebellion presents 5 messaging shifts to grow your business and be the only option in your industry. If you can hear the sound of my voice, I would love it if you would say hello in the chat so that I know that you can hear me. We'll be starting in just a few minutes. I'm just going to let some people get into the chat room so we can get underway. Hey, Brittany and Kara and Michelle. Okay, and Hannah, everyone can hear me. That always excites me so very, very much because you never know with technology, right? Okay, thank you, Brenda. I'm sounding great. And hello, Cami. It's so great to see you all here. And hey, Becca, who's coming from us from the UK. She's one of my clients, so I know who that is. Anyway, welcome to the 5 messaging shifts to grow your business and be the only option in your industry. And I just want to first thank you for taking the time to show up here today, to come to this webinar and spend an hour with me to think about your business, to think about the message that you're putting out to the world, that you're marketing with, and how to make that better. I know that this is a busy, busy time of the year. So you being here means so very much to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip over to my slides really quick, and I want to spend a moment getting to know you and who is showing up today. So just tell me really quickly in the chat, where are you and what's your business? Because this really helps me kind of customize what I talk about and the examples that I give kind of on the fly as we go through the webinar. And for those of you who are new to me, I'm Michelle Mazur, and I'm living in Seattle, Washington with my husband and 3 cats, and I'm the creator of the Three Word Rebellion. And Kara is in St. Louis, Missouri, not Montana, Jesus, and is a mindset coach and healer. Cami is America's authority on purpose and leverage marketing campaigns in New England. Becca is in the UK and a leadership coach. Jill's in Northern Arizona. Oh, wow, it's scrolling so quickly. Brittany just moved to Virginia. Oh, a therapist. And Adam, hey, Adam, self-branding. He's just started his MFA. And Zach Mazur, hey. Hey, Mr. Mazur, another Mazur. I love it. And you're in Milwaukee. So welcome to each of you. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so sorry that this is scrolling by so quickly. I can't really see. So the next question, and I just got one from Heather. She's a life coach, executive coach, and spiritual director, and she's having a hard time focusing. Heather, this webinar is actually perfect for you because a lot of people have that. A lot of people I see are innovative. And if this is resonating with you, let me know. Like, you're innovative and you've got a lot of interest and you're trying to figure out how to combine them into one thing that's your business. And I see that all the time. So yes, you are definitely in the right place. So now we're going to have a little fun with Webinar Jam, some polling capabilities. So I'm curious to know, with a poll, what stage of business you are in. And this should just pop up. So you can tell me if you're newish and you're still trying to figure it out, if you're getting some traction, or if you're in a pivot, or if your business is on fire. So I'm seeing 50-50 between getting traction. Oh, wow, these change so fast. This is so much fun for me to watch. I feel like I'm a game show host. So we've gotten a small percentage that are in a pivot. A couple people have a business that is on fire, and about 36 and 36 who are a third and a third ish that are either new or they're getting some traction in their business. And I ask this question because it helps me, because I know if you are getting some traction, you have a great offer already. If you're newish, you're still trying to figure out your offer. And so that's a different messaging challenge. If you're in a pivot, yeah, that's a different challenge altogether. Ooh, and the pivot number went way up. Look at that. 29% are in a pivot, 29% are newish, and 36% are getting some traction. And yay for you who's in the 7% that your business is on fire. Yes, I'm here for that as well. And this webinar is designed to help all of you, no matter what stage of business you're in, but it kind of guides me with some examples that I should give as well. So thanks for taking part in my poll. Like, that's always kind of fun as well. So I'm going to click back over to the chat. And then the final question I have for you before we launch in is, have you ever invested in marketing and feel like it just didn't pay off? And investing in marketing can look like you bought a course on Instagram or how to launch something, launch a course or launch a program, or how to do Facebook ads. It can look like investing in people. It can look like investing in social media strategy or marketing strategy. And it just didn't give you the return on investment. And I'm seeing some people who are like, no, good, Kara. I'm glad that it actually pays off for you. And some people say yes. Okay. All right. I'm seeing a lot more yeses than nos. Yeah. So a lot of people like invest a ton of money in marketing. And I'm going to talk about why and why I'm doing this webinar. And they really don't see a lot of results. And I am not immune to this. When I first started my business, the first course I ever bought was a course about how to create courses, but actually it was a course about how to market courses, where I quickly learned that I didn't really have an audience to market courses. So whoops, look at that. So it happens to all of us. And I really created this webinar because I kind of felt like Hugh Grant in Love Actually, where he's just banging his head on the desk, because I just kept having this conversation this year and last year where people would come to me and say, I invested a usually absurd amount of money into some kind of strategy. Hey, Josette. And it just didn't work. So I've heard things like, I invested $20,000 into a marketing funnel and it didn't work. I didn't get clients. I didn't see any return on investment. Or I spent $3,000 on a course, or I invested in multiple courses and I just didn't finish them. I couldn't make them work. And it's so frustrating because I kept seeing people just like set money on fire. And I kept seeing people just invest in marketing way before sometimes their business was even really ready to hire a marketing team or a publicist. Like they'd hire PR and publicist people and they don't really have a message or an angle. And so all of a sudden they're like, why am I not getting PR spots? And I'm like, well, because your message is not PR worthy yet. And so we throw all of this money at marketing and it doesn't pay off. And it just kept happening. We keep setting money on fire. And why it happens is, the big reason is, I really blame a lot of the bro marketers that are out there. And if you've been around me for a while, you've heard me talk about this idea of bro marketing, which is that really high pressure, like sales that's more about scarcity and fear of missing out. And these testimonials are like, make 6 figures in 6 seconds with my proven formula. And this is like the blueprint that's going to solve all of your problems. And that message is so seductive, right? Like, it's like we want to believe. So yeah, Brittany's like, yes, we want to believe. We want to believe, and we keep buying these things and buying into them, and they're just not paying off the way that we want. And the promise, it's like they're over promising and under delivering. And here's the thing that bro marketers don't want you to know. And I think they don't want you to know this because the fact is that messaging doesn't frankly scale into a course that they can just charge for and give you a template, because messages that are templated sound like everyone else. They're boring. But the rebel truth is your message powers your marketing. If your message works, your marketing strategy works. And any marketing strategy that you're comfortable with will work if your message actually resonates. And if some of you are here because you saw I ran a Facebook ad about thinking about a business owner you really love and admired. And in this, I just asked, what do you love about them? Do you love their Instagram hashtag strategy or their automated webinar funnel? And that's not what you love about the business owner. You love what they stand for, what they value, how they show up, and what they say. It's their message that attracts you. And so when your message comes together, it starts to power everything else in your business. But it is so easy to skip the messaging part and just go straight to marketing because, marketing, there's formulas and strategies and tactics you can use. And messaging is far more messy, which we're going to get to in a second. But I just one of my goals is to show you that your message is important to work on because we do skip this so much in business. And it does these 8 fundamental jobs, whether it's grabbing the attention of people who don't even know who we are. So, because attention is a very scarce source these days, or it's growing our audience. It communicates what our business offers and the value we create without us rambling on for 30 minutes. It's what is generating the sales and revenue in our business. It's differentiating us. It's showing the results of our work and how we work with people. And if you want to be speaking and on podcasts and be in the media, it's your message. It's not just who you know, it's your message that commands the media attention. And the thing is, your message works for you 27 hours a day, 27 hours a day. Wow. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what I meant to say. And if it's not working, if it's not resonating with your audience, then it's not doing its job. And, Adam, yes, the media is the message, or the medium is the message, as Marshall McLuhan once said. So your message is working for you, or it's frankly not working for you. 27 hours a day equals more sleep. Yes, it does. And so this kind of brings us to the point of this, is why aren't the bros talking more about messaging if it's so darn important? And it's because messaging, especially a message that you are excited and confident to share and that resonates with your audience, it is hard to come up with it. I mean, I'm in my 8th year of business and it took me a while to develop the 3-word rebellion and my message and what I stand for. It's one of those things that it is difficult, and people can give you, templates for it, but those templates just take all of the joy out of and uniqueness out of what you do. So we end up in this kind of frustrated mess, and we struggle with it. And so what I want to know from you right now is, do you see yourself in any of these? Because if you're struggling with your message, I would love to know. You can just write 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the chat. Some of the reasons we struggle with our message is number one, what you do is unique or innovative. Like I said at the beginning, like you're combining a couple of different methodologies or techniques or theories to get your clients results, and you don't know how to talk about it. So yeah, Kara's like, yep, I'm a 1. Number 2, what you do is abstract. So if you are a healer or you're an energy healer, it can be hard to explain what you do and the results you produce without a million words. Now, if you're one of my people who are in a pivot, oh my goodness, yes, this can be super difficult too, because you've been known for one thing for a really long time, and now you've got to shift your course and go to something else. And number 4, this is all of us. So make sure what I hear every single day when I talk to people is they can do messaging for other people, but they can't do it for themselves. You're too close to your work. Like you can't see clearly what you do. And then sometimes, number 5, you forget what makes you brilliant because it comes so easily to you. You forget what makes you good at what you do. And this is something that I struggle with, because I can like look at somebody's webinar funnel and I'll be like, oh yeah, it's not working because you're talking to people who they don't understand the solution you provide. They're not ready for this. Why are you talking to them like that? And people are like, how do you know that? And I'm like, because I've been doing this for a while, but we just don't see this. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of, yes, everybody's like 5, 1, 2, 4, and 5. Ooh, Tamara, you're doing a PhD. Ah, yes, congratulations. And yes to 4. Yeah. So we can't see ourselves clearly. And I'll be honest, like the people I work with the most are also usually other marketing and messaging people, because they can't figure it out on their own, even if they do it for other people. Okay. So the good news is that it doesn't have to be as hard or frustrating with a little structure and a little guidance, that there is clarity to be had, and that help is on the way through this webinar. So through the 5 messaging shifts that I'm about to just dive right into. And then towards the end of the webinar, right before the Q&A, if what I'm saying resonates, I'm opening up my calendar to take some strategy calls to see if the work I do is a good fit for your business. So stay tuned for that if you really want my eyes and messaging experience on your business. I'll tell you about that at the end, but there's nothing to buy. Like nothing to buy. I'm not selling anything today. I never sell on webinars. Fun fact about me. Okay. My 3 intentions for today is number 1, I want you to see the pivotal role that your message plays in growing your business and how important it is. Like, I feel like I've driven that home pretty well, but if you're still not 100% bought in, and let me know if you're not, or if you are, say, yes, I'm bought in. But I want you to see that it is this foundational piece. And I want you to begin creating a message that is uniquely yours, that feels good to you and resonates. And honestly, I want you to get an ROI on your marketing. Like, you've invested so much in this business, and I just want you to get some return on investment in that. Like, that would be awesome, right? Okay, I'm glad I'm seeing I'm all in. All I have is my cheesy tagline. Oh, yes, need more resonating, unique message. Excellent. And we all start off with a cheesy tagline, I think. And just so you know, the impact I want to make with my business is I really believe that well-resourced women and the men who get it can change the world. And being well-resourced means that we have money, we have support, we have audiences, and our work is known. And so business owners who are getting these amazing results, should be known in the world. There are people who need you. So I want your message to be known. I want those people to find you, and I want you to be known for your work. So who am I to be teaching you this? And I'm going to say something that makes me super uncomfortable because I'm going to make you do something super uncomfortable next. I am the most qualified person to teach you how to do messaging because I was born for this. I've been in business for 8 years now, getting hundreds of clients' results. I've been coaching and consulting for over 25, going on 30 years. My PhD is in communication, which means I understand the theory behind how people process messages and how they're persuaded. I am the author of 3 books, including The 3-Word Rebellion. I'm the host of 180 episodes of the Rebel Rising podcast. And you should literally look at my human design, my birth chart, my gene keys. My purpose on this planet is to impact people directly and indirectly through my communication and surprise and delight them. That's what my gene keys say. Seriously. So that is why I'm qualified. And that is the space that I want to take up. And that brings me to the space I want you to take up and the first messaging shift. Today, I want you to answer, who do you think you are? And Kara, I'm a manifesting generator. So this work is perfect for me because I'm supposed to respond. Yes, Becca, I am the one who knocks. Good preview. So messaging shift number 1 is, who do you think you are? And I want you to answer this question once and for all, because bro marketers teach us that we need to have some rags to riches story to convince people to work with us. And I say no, because we are already experts. Whether you have more experience and expertise than I do or less, it doesn't matter. This is not about comparison because you are an expert. And this is an activity that I developed during my Future Influential You Challenge based on the TV show Breaking Bad, where Walter White gives a speech to his wife about who exactly he is. And he is the one who knocks. He tells her, because she's worried that he's going to get murdered and somebody's going to show up at the door and kill him. And he's like, nope, that's not going to happen. I am the danger. I am the one who knocks. And I want you to feel that power by having a statement that is powerful. So when your brain thinks, who do you think you are to do this thing? You have an answer, because no one will actually ever ask you this question, but your brain so sure will. So it might be good for you to screenshot this, because these are some questions you can answer to put together this statement. And I would love to know who you are in the chat, so feel free to answer this. So some questions you can think about to form this statement and to really tap into your power. Think about your education, your training, your certification. So what's your education, training, and certifications? What have you created? Have you created a blog? I don't even care if you have 2 blog posts. If you created it, it counts. Have you created a podcast? Have you been on a podcast? Have you written a book? What have you created and put out in the world? Because that makes you an expert. Where's your work been featured? Have you been on other people's podcasts? Have you been in magazines? Have you been in Fast Company or Forbes? What skills or experience do you have that make you great at what you do? And I think this one is particularly underestimated, because we all have skills that make us excellent at what we do in our business. So our skills can be things like, I am insanely curious. So I ask all kinds of questions when I'm with people. I'm a good listener. I'm insanely curious. I want to know. And yes, these are very good questions to answer for your bio. So what are your skills that you bring to the table that you've developed over the years? And finally, another good place to look is what personality assessments reinforce what you're good at and what you do. So that can be looking at something like human design, or it can be looking at your Myers-Briggs or your Jungian archetype, as I like to think about it, or your how to fascinate or your strengths finder, because like every single one of my strengths and my strength finder support the work that I do. And I'm not seeing a lot of answers pop up. I'm going to take a drink of water and pause because I want to see some of your answers. Oh, Kara, you're a projector. For those of you who don't know human design, yes, it's very fascinating. And my husband's also a projector. Oh, power and prestige. Yes, you're a leader and you hold people to high expectations. And Zachary's inquisitive. Always makes us good. Michelle's a manifester. Oh, so you say it and you do it. Makes it happen. You make it happen. Making things happen. Oh, Zachary, human design is so fascinating. We've got Dee, who's a maverick leader, and Graham is power and prestige. Wow, we all know about. I love that you guys all went to your personality assessments. And I'm going to tell you, your personality assessments are the easiest place to start. And I am going to circle back with you and see if you actually did this one. So your action step for this, and you can screenshot this page as well, is to write your I am the one who knocks declaration. And yay, Jill's been on multiple podcasts. Way to go, Jill. Woohoo! So this is a very simple statement. And it just starts with saying, so who do I think I am? Let me tell you. And then you simply write out, I am the one who ... So for me, it could be like, I am the one with a PhD in communication. I am the one who created the 3-word rebellion framework, which is one of the most innovative messaging frameworks out there. And then at the end of it, you say your name and I am the one who knocks. So I am Dr. Michelle Mazur and I am the one who knocks. And I want you to feel it in your gut. All right. And then if you're super brave, I challenge you to post it on social media, or if you're in my Facebook group, post it in the Facebook group and let us see it, because I firmly believe that when you're able to claim your power, you discover your message. When you claim your power, when you claim your expertise and you step into it and you say, I am not rejecting you. I am not shying away from you. I am no longer too much, but this is mine. That is when your message begins to appear, which then, now that you're ready for it and you're kind of in your power, we're going to talk about message shift number 2. And this is a shift from selling your solution to creating intrigue with the 3-word rebellion. And I'm just curious, how many of you know about the 3-word rebellion? Just kind of put a like yes or no in the chat, because I know some of you have been around, some of you are new to me, some of you aren't new to me, but I'm just kind of curious. Yes, some of you have the book. Yes. Okay, lots of yes. Okay, me, cool, excellent. Lots of you have the book. So this will be new for you who have the book. And for those of you who don't know about the 3-word rebellion, you'll get to learn a little bit about it. So excellent. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys for participating. I really appreciate it. I thrive off of that. Okay. So I want you to think fast and just write in the chat. So which do you think is more curiosity provoking? Just be brave, number 1. Just write 1 or 2. Just be brave or the 5-second rule. 1 or 2. Just be brave or the 5-second rule. We're playing a game. And there's always lag. Two, 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 two. Couple of ones, couple of twos, mostly twos. All right. How about next one? The power of outsourcing. Number one. Number two, the 4-hour work week. The power of outsourcing. Number one. Number two, the 4-hour work week. Seeing a lot of twos. Yeah. Twos, two, 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 mostly twos. All right. And the last one is start with why or how great leaders inspire action. So one, start with why, or two, how great leaders inspire action. Seeing a lot of ones. Excellent. All right. So if you have the book, you probably knew the answers, but if you didn't. But why I wanted to run you through this is because this is a little exercise about what is curiosity provoking and how important your message is. Because Simon Sinek's original TED Talk was called How Great Leaders Inspire Action. And let me tell you, if he would have stuck with that message, I do not think he would not be the person he is today, because that does not inspire any curiosity. Whereas start with why makes people go, that's interesting. And now start with why has become this cultural phenomenon that exists without him. And Mel Robbins, whose first book was called Stop Saying You're Fine, which is not a great book title, would not be hosting a syndicated television talk show if it wasn't for the 5-second rule. And Tim Ferriss, I doubt would be Tim Ferriss if he just talked about how to be a powerful outsourcer if it wasn't for the 4-hour work week. And these are the messages that really propelled these entrepreneurs and speakers to success. And these are messages where I developed this framework because I noticed this pattern between these types of entrepreneurs and social movements. I forgot my words. And I called this the 3-word rebellion. And basically what I realized is that entrepreneurs and social movements do the exact same thing. They state the change they want to create in the world very quickly and memorably in just a couple of words. And if you're a business owner and you want to be known for your message and get some traction, then how can you use this to do the same thing? So if you're new to a 3-word rebellion, basically what it does, it encapsulates the change or result you want to create for your audience. So instead of talking about your solution, which is where most of us start. So if you're like, oh, I talk about my solution all the time. We don't talk about our solution. We talk about the change that we're creating for people or the big result. It positions your business as the only choice in your industry, and it does create a lot of intrigue. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. And there are no discounts on the book. It's on Amazon. It's $14. So yeah, that's the only way you can get a copy of the book is Amazon. Oh, and thank you, Adam. I love the book. What else it also does is it calls in your right people and repels the rest. And we're going to talk more about that. And since the message is for other people, it's not for us. It's not about like, hey, this is my business. Isn't it awesome? It allows other people to be the messengers of their message. And essentially, this is the message your business is known for. And there's nothing that brings me more pride than going to a conference or an event and people say, hey, 3-word rebellion lady. I'm like, yes, that's me. Because I don't care if people know me. I want them to know the message. I want them to know the work because that's what I believe in. So why does it work? Why does the 3-word rebellion work? Why does the 4-hour work week work, or start with why? And this isn't in the book. And this is something I developed over the past year. And it's really because the 3-word rebellion is that hook that kind of asks us 2 questions when we hear it. And we hear a 3-word rebellion and it immediately kind of stops us and we go, what does it mean? And then immediately, because our human brain is wired this way, we think, what does it mean for me? So what does it mean, and what does it mean for me? And if you have a 3-word rebellion and it's asking these 2 questions and people are like intrigued and thinking about themselves immediately, you've got a good 3-word rebellion. If it's not doing this for you, then you've got a working 3-word rebellion that you can keep refining and do it. Keep refining it, because you will find it. So if you think about it, like, sorry for the rudimentary graphics, but this is what we're going with today. So you have the 3-word rebellion, and that makes you kind of stop, right? It gets your attention. And then immediately it starts your brain going. It makes you question, what does this mean? What does it mean for me? And as soon as we start thinking about ourselves, we're hooked. We end up remembering the message and pondering it. And start with why is the best example, because we hear it and we're like, oh, I should start with my why. Cool. That's where I'm going to start. And what is my why? I don't know what my why is. I better find out what my why is. What is my why? And all of a sudden we're off reading everything Simon Sinek has ever wrote, because we want to find out what our why is. And so as business owners, we have to avoid dead ends. And a lot of our messaging is a dead end. So no offense to my life coach friends and my coach friends, like a message like live your best life. We hear this message all the time. And for the most part, it's not going to grab our attention because we've heard it before. It doesn't stop us. But not only that, we hear live your best life and it doesn't make us think, because we've heard it before. Like, it's just kind of out there. It's rote. And so instead of thinking about your message, we're thinking what's for dinner, and we've moved on and we've forgotten about you. So a real life example of this is from one of my friends and my client, Michelle Evans, who does marketing. And I love her because she's not a bro marketer at all, even though she talks about marketing funnels. So for a long time, she really believes, her core belief is that you should have systems in your business that support you when your life goes haywire, so that your business is still making money, right? And so she was using this message about the marketing funnel show. And, it's okay. It's very solution oriented, right? And let's be honest, in the chat, would you listen to a podcast called The Marketing Funnel Show? Yes or no? And let's face it, funnel kind of has a negative connotation. We hear Russell Brunson, you're one funnel away from. So people think they already know what it means. Yep, I'm seeing a lot of no's. Nope, sounds trippy. If you hosted it, yes, thank you, Melissa. But no, I would not host the Marketing Funnel Show. So she was falling into that trap, and she's one of those people who is so good at what she does, and she cares so much about her people. So we worked together and we created a new 3-word rebellion. And so her 3-word rebellion ended up being profit without worry. And as soon as we created it, and we were surprised that nobody had actually taken this one, and she started using it with clients, people would stop her and be like, oh, yeah, so much better, right? You would listen to this show, because that's what her people wanted. Like, yes, how do I do that? I'm so stressed out in my business. How do I do that? And as soon as we rebranded her podcast without Profit Without Worry, changed nothing else but the title, her podcast quadrupled in downloads, like just changing the title. And that meant, she's reaching 4 times as many people. She's now kicking off a group program with this philosophy, because it's not about the solution. It's about the result. It's about what people really want. So creating that intrigue is everything, right? So now the question is, you're like, great, that's awesome. Profit without worry. How do I do that for me, right? Because we're thinking about ourselves as always. So how do you create this message? And some of you are familiar with these exercises. So you're going to write or rant this into Otter AI is my preferred app. And I want you to believe that this message already exists because it does. It's already in what you've been saying and what you've been writing, what you've been telling your clients, what annoys the crap out of you and you talk to your spouse about. Like, it's already out there. I saw this once from my client, Stacy Fisher. We did her 3-word rebellion, which was create how you feel. And then a week later, she found a PDF she created a couple of years before with called Create How You Feel in big title font on the front of it. And I was like, oh yeah, see, it already exists. So the bottom line is that this is the message that you are going to be. Did I skip ahead? Yeah. What did I just do? I'm going to need okay, hold on. I am in a, this is so weird. Sorry, guys. I did something super duper weird. And now I need to figure out what slide I'm actually on. Oh, man. I love technology. Okay. Here we go. I found where I needed to be. Yay. Okay. And we're back. Okay, here we go. So our third messaging shift is to get angry and channel that for change. So what I want you to do is to take a stand that gets you noticed. And if you have the book or you don't, you've seen these before. I'm just going to give you a couple of prompts that I want you to go and write on tonight and create some content from. So the first writing prompt is really about what ticks you off. What makes you angry about your industry? And the thing is, just write it all out. Just get it out on paper. And I do these exercises usually every 3 to 4 months just to see if there's anything new that pops up for me, because sometimes there is. So get really clear and talk about what ticks you off. And then spend some time with that question, and then know that rebelling alone is just complaining. You have to also paint a picture of possibility for your people. So yes, get angry, but then channel that into change. Like, how do you want to change things for people? And that gets us to our next prompt of, I want to live in a world. What kind of world do you want to live in? And just write your heart out. And literally, even if you don't know what you want to say, because sometimes change is harder than what what you're rebelling against, but just write. Yes, I ranted and people respond to it. Yes, exactly. And then tell them how you want to change, because your 3-word rebellion message typically comes from here. So spend some time, spend 15 minutes on those prompts and find your 3-word rebellion. Because in the book, and there's even a free download on my site, it goes into more depth about how to use those prompts to find your actual 3-word rebellion. But finding your 3-word rebellion really anchors your business. And then you can use it everywhere. Book titles, programs, keynotes, pitch angles, custom hashtags, copies, webinars, name your methodology. Use this thing everywhere. You want it to be synonymous with your business. And then it really does become the heartbeat of your business. It's what you're known for, and it really drives your marketing. And yes, Cheryl, book in the pipeline. Good for you. So now let's say you have your 3-word rebellion, or even if you don't, you have a working 3-word rebellion. It's fine. We can still do this. So the fourth messaging shift is to go from throwing spaghetti to being more intentional. So spaghetti to intentionality with our messaging. So what I notice, how many of you just kind of shoot from your hip when you have to like market your business? Right? Like you just kind of like, pew, 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 pew. I have to post on social media today, or I have to do a blog post. What am I going to say? And we just kind of like throw things out there. And if you can imagine when cars like me, when we said start with why, like if Simon Sinek had start with why and then just went out into the streets of Seattle and was like, start with why, start with why, start with why, no one would understand what he was saying, right? He had to create other conversations around it. And even when I came up with the 3-word rebellion, I was like, great, this is super cool. And now I have to get people to understand what it is and get people to want one and desire one. And oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? Like, how do I create these conversations? And so as business owners, we have to know what conversations to create with people to make our marketing work. And right now we just kind of randomly put stuff out there and hope something works for us and it gets us our next client. And that is not the way to do things because it's just throwing spaghetti against the wall, really. There's no intention behind it. And if something works, we don't know why it works, really. We can't really replicate it. And it's so easy for us to veer off message. We tend to be overly focused on the solution we provide. It's all about, hey, look at me, instead of like, hey, look at you, the person, the audience. And it's just messy, right? It's messy for you. It's messy for your audience. It's messy for your team. And you don't want to be throwing spaghetti. You've got to be more intentional, especially if you've invested in any kind of marketing strategies. Marketing strategy only works when you have an intentional message to support it. So what I suggest is that you create an audience journey, which is it's usually 3 to 5 key narratives, or I think about them as talking points that logically and emotionally moves strangers to clients, right? So every brand has this. We have the narratives that we consistently talk about. And these narratives, when I design a customer journey or audience journey, is that I want to move people through the customer awareness spectrum. And if you're familiar with this, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not, you can just give me a thumbs down or yes or no. So you want to take people from unaware, they don't know you're a stranger, they don't know they have a problem, to being aware and bought in and yes. So yes. Okay, so we see yes, people do it. Okay, so some people know, some people don't know. And if you do know, are you actually using this? Because this is like the best tool in the world. So the way that I look at it is that when we're using an audience journey, the audience journey serves different intentions for our business. So if you need to grow your audience, you need more eyeballs, you need more people to know about you, you're targeting the unaware people, the problem-aware people who don't really know you yet. If you need to generate some leads, so people to talk to about what you do, then you want them to already know you and like you and trust you, hopefully. But now is the time to introduce your solution. And then if it's about really closing the sales and generating revenue, it's about talking about what your product or your service does for people, right? So we can be super intentional. So if I know I need to generate leads, then I have to tell people about my solution. That's all I have to do. And I know exactly how to do that, right? Because I have an audience journey that I created. And so we're answering different types of questions at each stage. So who are you? What's problem do I have when people don't know you? when their solution, like they know they have a problem now, they know about you. What are my options here? Like, what are the potential solutions? And then helping them figure out, is this the best solution for me? And having these narratives with conversation starters underneath them can really give you some focus in your marketing, and it allows you to figure out what is actually working to grow your audience or to generate leads and sales. And let me know at the end if you have questions about this, because this is a little bit more complex, but it's key. The other thing to think about is the emotion they're feeling. How do they feel as they move through this? And to know, like, I know my people are usually frustrated and kind of ticked off when they first come to me. And my job is to really tell them that I've got them. Like, okay, like you get to like vomit all your ideas on me and I will help you make sense of them and give them structure and form. And that gives them relief. And I know by the time I want them to leave, I want them to feel powerful and confident. That is the arc that I'm taking them on. And so I do this through storytelling. So we have to figure out what our signature stories are that support this. I would say of all of these stories, your connection story is one of the most important, and telling that connection story in a way that resonates with the audience, that they see themselves in. So when I talk about bro marketing and how I spent all this money on stuff that I didn't need for my business, you can see yourself in that, right? So you have these stories. And then once you know this journey, these conversations you need to create, you can make any marketing strategy work. So you know that if you need to grow your audience, you know the conversation you have to create. I know that if I want to grow my audience, I need to talk about bro marketing or how we waste money on marketing or imposter complex. Like, I know that's what I have to do to make my marketing work. And that leaves us to the final shift, which is radical consistency. And this might be a scary concept for some of you. You might be like, but I'm creative, and we'll get to that. So radical consistency to grow your audience and your business. And this, I love this. So in the chat, just kind of tell me real quick, how consistent are you in sharing your message? Like, are you sharing your message regularly? And are you sharing a consistent message? Like, are you showing up daily? Are you sharing a consistent message? Because one person who does this brilliantly is Brené Brown. And Janice, yes, you are, because we work together. Not yet, not yet. So Brené Brown is my go-to for this. She is a person who, like, I don't know if you've seen her Netflix special, but I've been following Brené Brown's work for years. And when I saw her Netflix special, what I realized is there was literally nothing I hadn't heard before in it. All the same stories, all the same concepts. And the reason for that is she was reaching a new audience and she needed to be consistent. Radically consistent. And so she is great at sharing those stories. She knows that they work. She shares the same message. She takes us on the same journey. And so we now know her for her work. And so someone you might be able to relate more to is one of my clients and friends and also mentors, Katia Varbanoff. She is very innovative, and she combines video marketing with Jungian archetypes to get her clients results. And she's a total squirrel. And she's one of those people that like comes up with a million ideas a day. So if you see yourself in her, please let me know. And her struggle was she would get an idea and she would create it and she would put it out in the world. And then she'd come up with another idea and she'd create it and she'd put it out in the world. And it was confusing the crap out of her audience, right? They didn't know what she was about. And what she had to do is we did this audience journey work and the 3-word rebellion work, and it allowed her to focus. So she can still create, she can get the idea and she can create it, but now she can say, where does this fit in to my audience journey. And that has really let her create a long-term plan to build her influence. And now she's just not wasting money on random stuff. She's being more thoughtful about like, oh, this is actually great for when I'm in sales, but right now I'm in audience growth, so I shouldn't be talking about this. So it's all about the strategy. And then once you have this whole messaging system, then you can start doing cool things like creating assets. Like someone, I forget who it was, said that they're writing a book. You write books, you do signature talks, you do webinars like this one, you do programs, offerings, and you just stop just creating random stuff and hoping it works. You start creating real assets that you use again and again to promote your business. You tweak them, you make them better, you optimize them, and it allows you to be way more strategic. So heck yes to that. Less work to grow your business. So the takeaway I want you to the takeaway here is radical consistency is about showing up regularly and staying on message so you don't confuse your audience, right? Don't confuse your people. Because when you're all over the place, they're like, I don't know what he actually does. Okay. So just to wrap up of where we've been, we've answered the question, who do you think you are? We've created intrigue with your 3-word rebellion. We've gotten angry and we channeled that to find your message. We've embraced intentionality and started to think about creating an audience journey. And we've seen how radical consistency can help grow a business. And really what I've done is taken you through the whole ecosystem of the 3-word rebellion, because this is what my work in the world is. It is about creating that one-of-a-kind message, that audience journey, those stories, and then helping figure out how you can dominate your industry through that consistency. Oh, and thank you for ordering my book, Antonia. I really appreciate that. And as we talked about at the beginning, finding your message can be frustrating. It can feel like banging your head against the wall. It can be like, why isn't this working? I am the expert. I should be able to do this, or I do it for other people. But it is the thing that makes your marketing efforts pay off. And the good news is that it doesn't have to be when you get a little bit of support. And so that's why at the end of the year, I am opening my calendar for some 3-word rebellion strategy sessions. And you can go to drmichellemazur.com/talk. I'm going to pop up. I have a little offer button that should pop up as well. And what this strategy session is basically we will talk about the current state of your message, your business, and see if my work is a good fit. Is it the right next step for you? Because I never want to make this the wrong next step for anyone. So it's 45 minutes long, and you and I will just talk about your business goals. I do a little bit of a messaging audit to see where your message is and see where you are. And then if you and I are a good fit, I'll talk to you more about the work and how we can make it happen. And it's really for those business owners who are super ready to stop throwing spaghetti against the wall and get more strategic with growing your audience and growing your business. And if getting clarity and getting ROI on your marketing feels like a relief and you want some help, then this is definitely for you. If 2020 is the year that you see yourself being that leader and leading the change of your industry, and if you're in a place where you can invest in this energetically and financially, and I've got lots of options for that right now too, then we should really talk, because I want you to go big. I want you to have your message. I want people to find your work mostly. So this is the perfect time. You might be thinking, oh, I should do this in 2020. But actually, this is the perfect time for you, because you can lock in 2019 pricing if you put a deposit down by the end of the year, because my prices are increasing by 20%. And the cool thing is you can start anytime in the first 3 months of 2020. So you can start March 30th for all that I care. And this is a good investment in your business. Instead of of investing in Uncle Sam. You should check with your CPA, but this is usually a tax write-off. And longer payment plans are available because of being able to start anytime. What is the next step? I will tell you that in a second. So there's information on the intake form about the cost financially, and there are like generous payment plans are available, Hannah. So just so you know. So this call is definitely on me, and it's at drmichellemazur.com/talk. And what will happen when you hit that link is that you will go to this page and book a call, and there'll be an intake form that has several questions for you to answer, just to kind of think about. And it really helps me prepare for the call because I do spend time preparing for these. And then you'll book your chat and we'll talk. And I am not high pressure. I will help you make the best decision for you. So let's launch this rebellion together. I would love to talk with you. And if you have some other questions about if this is a right fit for you, you can always email me at drmichellemazur.com. I'll put my email address in here as well. Feel free to email me, Hannah, as well. And finally, before I answer any remaining kind of questions, I want you to know that your work matters and more people need it. And your 3-word rebellion is the linchpin in making your impact, spreading your message, and making more money. It really is. When your message comes together, your marketing gets easier and everything starts working in your business. So I have a few minutes for questions. So any questions? Oh, thank you, Melissa. And I'm just going to put up and get a drink of water. My lips are chapped. Not that you all needed to know that. You are so welcome, Adam, and thank you for being awesome and participating. I wish I could always be more involved in chat because I love chatting with you all. Like sometimes I wish I could teach a webinar like every single week, but I know that would not be the best work of my time. Thank you, Therese. Yes, you will be receiving a recording. I will get that out this afternoon, 100%. Cool. Yes. Read the book. It goes into a lot more depth and detail about how I work, and feel free to hit me up. Oh, thank you, Josette. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And yeah, feel free to email me with any questions that you have from the webinar. When is book 2 coming out? Not yet. No, Melissa, not yet. I'm still promoting this book. Well, actually, and that would be book 4. I have too many books, if that's such a thing. Oh, and you're welcome, Brittany. So good. So good. I want to shift people's mindsets on the brain, gut, skin connection. Ooh, Cheryl, that sounds fascinating. Very cool. Thanks, Zachary Mazur. Maybe we are related. All Mazurs are probably related. We all come from the same part of Poland. Okay, Antonia. Thank you. Cool. All right, guys, it doesn't look like there's any questions, but you know where I am. Feel free to hit me up either email or on Instagram. Book your session. Oh, thank you, Janice. You're so good. Oh, thank you. Yes, Cheryl, I'd love to talk with you. And thank you, Kara. And have a wonderful day. Thank you for spending your time with me. And we will chat soon. I will be in your inbox this afternoon with the replay. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.